What's up, you guys? Welcome back to a very special episode of Couch and Courtside. It is Johnny, and as always, I'm joined by John. John, how you doing today?
Johnny, what's up, man? How you doing?
Doing pretty good. So this is something that, we've always kind of talked about, me among friends, and it's about trying to find out who the best GM is, especially when it comes to 2K. Rather than just picking what it is now, I thought we would go back to the time machine and we would revisit the 2015-2016 NBA season as a whole and kind of redraft to see who has the best players. That was a very special year for you, John. Do you know why that was a special year for you?
Fuck yeah, no, it's a special year because the Cavs won the championship. They beat the hell out of the Warriors in Game 7.
I mean, that was an incredible moment. At least I know for you, I was very much rooting for you, even though the Warriors are really good that year. They were just dominating everyone, right? The goal is to see who has the best team. And the cool thing about that is that we have 4 special guests on with us. So rather than us introducing all together, I'm going to let John actually introduce each guest one by one as we actually also review the draft order for this draft as well. So John, take it away.
All right, so our drafting order, we're going to be going in descending order today. And some of these voices you may have heard before. We've got Chris back on the chat today, so thanks, Chris, for coming back. But let's start in descending order. We're going to have Mr. Joe Lee at number 6.
Yes!
And Joe, what team did you pick?
So the team I picked were the Spurs because I'm a big fan of Pop, and that's the whole reason.
Okay, and what kind of like romanticization do you have about Pop and the Spurs? Like, what's the reason for the Spurs?
You know, growing up, I think Pop was a big reason that Kobe and Shaq probably didn't win more titles, or Kobe didn't win more titles, because it's weird because, he'd win every other year or something like that. But I think he just did a good job, getting to know his players, doing a good job dealing with roster changes and being able to have a pretty good winning record for a very long time. So I attribute that a lot to him and with the management of the Spurs. And I've been a big fan of Pop for a while.
Okay. Pop is the king of undressing players. He is the only guy that I know of who can actually yell at somebody, and that person will be like, yeah, you're right.
It's true that.
Next up, the host himself, Johnny, at number 5. Johnny, who is your pick? Who's your team?
I took the Miami Heat and Coach Spoelstra as well.
All right. And go ahead and give us some background on why you took this team.
I just love their jerseys. I mean, Spo's a really good coach. I actually like him a lot. And, he's a guy that, kind of birthed the whole positionless basketball, at least in this era. So I want the Heat. And so and that's how I'm going to try to build my team here.
Pretty ballsy to choose a Heat team after the big 3 already had left.
Yeah, that makes it even easier for me to pick them.
All right, that's fair. Next up, we have Mr. Andy Mai, number 4. Mr. Mai, who'd you choose, sir?
Yo, I picked the Lakers, hometown Lakers, ride or die.
Awesome. And this year, who was the coach of that team? 2016?
Tank Commander Byron Scott.
Oh, of course, the original Tank Commander. All right, excellent. And this is also a special year for the Lakers as well because of what happened at the end of the year, right?
Kobe's last year. So absolutely. it was a great year. So
I don't know about you guys, but I was watching Kobe score 60 rather than watching the Warriors win their 73rd game.
Oh, most definitely. Like that Laker game, you got to give it to the Kobe.
Absolutely. And also shout out to Gordon Hayward, who I habitually hate on, but for stepping in the line and letting Kobe get that like 57 point. Next up, we got Mr. Yoon. So Yoon, welcome back to the pod, man. And who'd you pick?
Hey, thanks for having me. I picked the Atlanta Hawks, and I think Coach Bud was their coach that year. And the reason why I chose them was, obviously Coach Bud. He came from Greg Popovich's coaching group, so he's an excellent coach. I think he took a lot of those shitty Atlanta Hawks teams to the playoffs, and that's why I chose them.
One of these days, you have to explain to me your lust for the Hawks, because I remember even back when we used to play 2K way back in the day, you were a Hawks fan. So we'll let that marinate, and we'll come back to it at another time.
All right.
Second was myself. I chose the Cavs. Obviously, again, I'm an enormous LeBron James stan. You guys all know that. And it was a special year for the Cavs, right? A 52-year drought in that city. One of the best comeback wins in probably the history of sports. Watching LeBron get that win, watching Kyrie hit that shot, watching him get the block. That was an amazing year for me. yes, Ty Lue was the coach that year. He's not necessarily a phenomenal coach, but he was good enough to get the job done. So yeah, I was definitely chomping at the bit to take the Cavs, and I'm surprised no one took them. And then finally, Chris, my brother, back on the pod again. Welcome back, man.
Hey, John. Thank you.
Of course, man. Who'd you pick?
I went with the Warriors. I went with these guys because I had the pleasure of watching them win the 73rd game, but then also the pleasure of watching them lose to LeBron. And so kind of thinking back, they're the lucky losers. So I went with the Warriors.
Absolutely. MJ said it don't mean a thing if you put a ring on it. So all right. So we got our 6 people here today. And Johnny, take us away, man.
All right, guys. So that's going to be the draft order. So we're going to make it very simple. We're drafting 10 players. The cap that year was $70 million. So we're going to draft within that cap. Basically, it'll be a snake order. One of the wrinkles that we have to give these guys is that we're going to give them kind of a provision idea of that, like they can actually control what can happen during that round. So, like I was saying before, Joe, in the 3rd round, you'll be able to use your provision. In the 4th round, Andy will be able to use his. Chris will be able to use it in the 5th round. And Yoon will be able to use his in the 7th round. But other than that, that's pretty much what we're going to do when it comes to drafting. At the end, I'll kind of explain how we will determine who has the best team overall. And this is something that I'm hoping that we kind of do on like a monthly basis with different years as well. Without further ado, let's start this draft. So, Chris, this is round 1. You get the number 1 overall pick as we're redrafting here. So, who's your pick and why?
With the number 1 overall pick, I will take Kevin Durant. The reason why I'm taking Kevin Durant is that he is an absolute bucket every time he steps on the basketball court, but he's also able to fill in the entire stat sheet.
That's an interesting pick, man. But I definitely do like it.
It's all right.
That year, I mean, what did he average? I mean, I know he went nuts that year, and so that was, that was the same year that the Thunder took him to 7 games, right?
It is,
right.
Absolutely.
And then, yeah, they did blow it. So okay, that kind of makes sense. All right, so Kevin Durant is off the board. So John, you have the 2nd pick. Who are you going to pick and why?
I'm going to shock everyone here because, again, you guys all know where I probably will be going or would be going. However, the 2016 season was a very historic season by virtue of the fact that there was a player who was a phenomenal player, the unanimous MVP, who was being historically underpaid by his franchise because of his prior injuries. I'm going to take Stephen Curry.
That's
choice.
Yeah.
A good pick.
I mean, that's actually a very good value pick.
No,
if
listen,
we're really thinking about this.
That was gonna be my pick.
I'm just mad I'm last. That's all I'm saying. This is ridiculous.
John with the controversy with Stephen Curry. I'm going to surprise all you guys.
It's not a controversy whatsoever. The dude deserves like $50 million a year.
And he's getting paid it now.
Yeah, he is. But that year alone, he was only like 11 million.
11-3.
And he was the 4th highest paid player on that team.
Yeah, he was.
How crazy is that?
One of the best contracts.
Behind Clay, behind Draymond, behind Bogut, and like actually 4th. Iguodala was getting paid more than him, so he was 5th in line on that team in terms of salary.
Nuts, right? Nuts. That's crazy. All right, Yoon, you have the 3rd pick. Who you picking and why?
I'm gonna go with a 2-way player. His name is Kawhi Leonard, and he's only at $16.5 million, which it's pretty good value if we're only working with the $70 million salary cap. I think he finished, or he was the defensive player of the year that year, and he finished, I think, 2nd in MVP. So can't beat that.
I gotta say, Yoon, I'm pretty shocked just looking at some stats here. I think I saw that he was like 4th in 3-point shooting that year.
Yeah, he really had a good season.
That's nuts, man.
The 4th pick in the 1st round, we'll go to Andy. Andy, who you picking and why?
With my pick, I'm gonna go with a defensive stopper. He was still learning to be a better player, but I have to go with AD, my man AD.
Okay.
$7 million contract, defensive stud. He's very, very solid. I mean, they weren't winning at the time, but I feel like at that price point, he's very efficient and very defensive minded. So very, very solid.
I like it.
The 5th pick, I'm next. I'm shocked that John didn't pick this guy. So I'm going to take him. Give me LeBron, man. I'll take LeBron. And it's funny because I usually, when it comes to these types of drafts, like I wouldn't take LeBron, but how can I not at this point, right? I know Kyrie hit the big shot to win them the finals that year, but without that block, those rest of those sequences doesn't happen. So give me LeBron. I'll build my team around him.
I think that's a phenomenal pick, Johnny.
Great pick.
All right, so to round out the end of round 1 will be Joe. Joe, who's your pick and why?
I feel like I've done this before where I always get the last pick, so I have to pick 2 every time. So I guess it doesn't matter. Anyways, so who I'm gonna pick for my guy is gonna be Klay Thompson.
Okay.
I think Klay, when he goes hot, he goes nuclear. I think it's absolutely insane, and I'm a big fan. And I think that he was the highest paid player at the team at the time. I mean, it's not like it was unheard of. 15 million is actually it's pretty good at the time. So I wasn't gonna necessarily build my team around Klay. I was gonna take LeBron. Honestly, I'm surprised that you guys all had that, that dropped that far. The second guy I'm going to pick, it's kind of iffy, but given how he played in 2015, 2016, I think it's going to work okay. I'm going to go with Kyrie. I think Klay is an excellent spot-up shooter. Kyrie's a good ball handler, and I think he has the ability to kind of like find the open man. It'd be interesting. So Kyrie's my next guy.
Again, Joe had the first pick in round 2, so we're going to move back down to Johnny with the Heat. What do you got, Johnny?
So before I pick this, I've come to realize that Joe is right. I need a widescreen monitor because this screen is so small right now. I'm like trying to figure out.
Ultra wide screens for the win, man.
You need 2 ultra wide screens, bro.
You need 3, or just get 3 monitors.
It's ridiculous.
All right, so this guy already had a coming out party, but with his contract so cheap, and to pair him with LeBron, I think would be great. This guy, did it all to beat the Clippers in that first round this year, and then kind of lost the next round after. But that's fine. I'm going to take Dame.
Ooh, damn, Johnny.
Damn,
that was my next pick.
Yeah.
Why? Because for some reason that man was only getting paid $4 million that year.
That's absurd.
That's absurd.
And this is great value. So give me Dame time.
Damn, I'm actually kind of jealous of that pick.
Yeah, I'm really jealous.
All right. Well, so the third pick in this round is going to go to Mr. Andy Mai. What do you got, man?
Okay, sorry. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to go with my boy. I don't like this guy, but he's a stud. I got to go with James Harden. I think the numbers that he was putting up 2015, 2016 is pretty solid. 29 points, 6 boards, 7.5 assists. He was just coming into his own, with that leading that Houston Rockets team. So I just think he's a solid guard that can just handle the ball and take over a game.
Maya, let me put this question to you. Do you think that the pairing of AD and Harden is better than the pairing, of Harden and KD, and their current stage in their career?
Yeah, I think so. AD is just a monster on the defensive glass, so on the defensive end. So he can focus on the defense, and Harden can just focus on the offense. So for the most part,
for sure. Well, you got that cheap ass salary for AD, so you're sitting pretty here, man. All right, excellent. Number 4 in this round, is going to go to Yoon. Yoon, I just want to put it out there that both Melo and Derrick Rose are still available. I just want to put
that I'm good, man. But
hey, what's wrong with Derrick? That contract.
The Hawks team too.
You got the whole Hawks team. You can reach
the whole Hawks, man.
So for my second round pick, a lot of good players got snatched up, and looks like I might have to go big here. So I'm gonna go with Tim Duncan.
Duncan's still in the league this year? Holy shit, I forgot about that.
Yeah, he's on a $5 million contract, and I just looked up his stats real quick. Oh, that was his last year.
Yep, he was while Kobe had the farewell tour. Duncan just left quietly in the night.
Yeah, I mean, he was still putting up, respectable numbers
Yeah.
for his last season, but looks like I might have to go a little big here just to counter you guys' teams.
Let us set the record straight. This is also Yoon's second consecutive time of picking Tim Duncan, and he currently does have 2 of the 5 players from the Spurs starting roster on the Hawks, whereas Joe does not have either of those players on the Hawks. So we'll put that out there.
This is some bullshit.
I have the 5th pick in this round here, and I'm going to need a second myself as well because you guys are right. A lot of the good players have actually been taken, and kind of you have a lot of high dollar players who weren't really putting up value. So I'm going to go ahead and pick a guy who has some potential, who has yet to actually turn into the guy he is right now. I know I'm taking a gamble on this here because he wasn't rated very highly this year, but it is what it is. I'm a value kind of guy. I'm the guy who drives the Honda to get the features in the Mercedes. So that's all good. I'm going to go with Giannis. This year in 2016, he was only rated at 79, but he was making just below $2 million. I'm going to save that big money for probably the towards the end to see who else is available. So I'm going to take Giannis. And so, Chris, that leaves you with the very last pick of round 2. And once we finish up with Chris, you can go ahead and pick your third round starter as well, but I'll announce the salaries for the end of this round.
Okay. So with my second pick, I am going to go with the guy who today has turned into a superstar who's underappreciated and scores 40 and never seems to ever win. That'll be Bradley Beal.
Oh, I like it.
At a salary of, I believe, $5.69 million for this season. So pretty good value.
Damn, how did I miss that? Probably because he never wins shit. We are at the conclusion of round 2 of drafting. Again, going in the order of the draft. So Joe started off with this draft here, choosing. Please forgive me. This
Kyrie.
My wise. I got Kyrie Irving here. Forgive me. And Joe's sitting at 30,246,000. The second pick was Johnny. Johnny chose Damian Lillard. Damn, Damian and LeBron together, which I've always dreamed of. Johnny's sitting at 27,207,000. Third pick was Mr. Andy Mai. Andy went ahead and chose Harden, which actually was a great fit to go with Anthony Davis. Mai, you're sitting at 22,827. I'm sorry, 22,827,000. Please forgive me.
Nice.
Yoon, you chose Tim Duncan in that round 2. And right now you're sitting at 21,500,000. Nice round number. I love it. Myself, I chose Giannis in the second round. Probably should have chosen Bradley Beal, but that's fine. I'm sitting at 13,324,746. And Chris, you chose Bradley Beal in that round. And to go along with Kevin Durant, you're sitting at 25,853,296.
Sure.
So before we start with round 3, so like we talked about before, each of our guest hosts has a provision or power up that they can use. So Joe, in round 3, this is your round. Is there one that you want to do?
I mean, I have to, right? It's not going to come back to me.
Yeah, it's not going to come back to you.
So I have a question about this. So if I were to do the free salary, everyone in front of me, because I'm last, will get the discount.
Yeah, so actually what we'll do here is that we'll reorder to where you pick first on top of that round, and everybody else will just follow the round down. So Chris would get the next pick. You just get moved up.
Okay.
If you want to do that one.
I will take the free player.
Oh.
Okay. So let me explain that to everybody here. So this provision really is that whatever Joe picks here, it only counts towards none of his cap. So he gets to pick one free player.
Okay.
Everybody else in this round, whatever contract you see, it'll be 50% off.
Nice.
So Joe, since that's the provision you're using, you get to actually lead off this round. So who do you want to pick and why?
Oh God. So ideally you try to pick a player that is just straight good regardless of contract size. The thing is, like, it's kind of a iffy situation here, but I'm hoping that there's a little bit of synergy here. So I'm gonna take Draymond because he's actually paid $14 million, and I think he puts up a lot of like X factor stats, like spitting in someone's face, piss them off.
Some of the nuts.
So I mean,
Or,
you can't put that on Basketball Reference, right? Right. So that stuff,
Intangibles.
you can't. He is the intangibles. By the way,
nut
also
picks too.
he puts up weird stats. Like he'll get like 0 points, 9 rebounds, 8 steals, and like 5 blocks, and that's pretty good. And I think that in terms of defense during the Warriors' intense run, Draymond was a big deal. I think they don't give him enough credit. I know that Steph balled out, Clay balled out, but Draymond was a big deal there, and he was paid quite a bit there, more than Steph. So I want to take Draymond.
I just want to say you had the choice of picking somebody for free, and you chose Draymond.
I thought you were gonna go with Carmelo or something.
No. Here's the thing. No. Listen, motherfuckers. Right? You don't want a shooter. We have Clay and Kyrie.
Oh, okay. I didn't. I can't see your team right
now. And he's
so.
building his team, so
that's the whole motherfucking point.
Oh man.
All right, I have a spreadsheet right here, looking at everyone's stuff.
I would not have agreed with that pick. I wish there's a board
where we can see everyone's teams.
Dude, here.
I wonder if one of you guys can share.
Here, I will share my shit.
Oh man.
God damn it.
So Draymond Green is coming to play for Joe and the Spurs for free. All right. He saved $14 million there in cap for the next picks as we going down. So Chris, like I said, everyone else here will draft normally, but now you get a 50% discount on any player. So who do you want to add on your team in this third round?
This is a beautiful gift, and I want to say thank you. I'm torn right now because I need a big man, but I don't know if I want to go with a defensive stopper big man or if I want to go with a rangy big man.
Sounds like Draymond Green.
So
he does it all.
He does it all. Everyone hit that three.
Yeah, nut punches and all. So I, with my third pick, I am going to go. Gun shy, guys. I'm gun shy. I'm sorry.
Not that easy, huh?
I'm gonna go DeMarcus Cousins.
Oh man,
love it.
Damn.
See, that was my other pick, but I think he was too much of a crybaby.
That was my pick. That was my pick.
You think that?
I mean, that
DeMarcus is more of a crybaby.
I mean,
here, DeMarcus got wrecked by Tim Duncan. Remember that?
Correct. Yes, I remember that. But if we think about this year specifically, this was the year. I think he got hurt the year after, right? But I mean, his PER was like 23.6. Like that
he was also on the Kings.
Correct. So this guy was getting buckets though, left and right. Like feel like you could put in the post. So that's a solid pick, especially for half the discount, man.
This is it might as well be free. That's a great player for a half.
Nobody wants to play for the Kings. Well, nobody.
He's not playing for the Kings anymore. So, all right,
he's
John.
Playing for no one anymore. He's playing for his quads.
Bear with me for 1 second. I'm just getting some math put together here. We're putting in these discounts. We all can't have free players like Joe. So,
Draymond Green.
Draymond Green, dude. Are you kidding me?
Hey man, look.
What a waste of power.
If we're gonna sim this shit, my shit's gonna be fire. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, let's hope it sims past the first quarter.
A dumpster fire.
It's 2016. Johnny, you mentioned that Spo was kind of one of the architects of the positionless basketball, and so there was a player out there who, also could fit that mold pretty well. Was getting paid a decent chunk of cash, but could put up defense, could hit a three, a good 3-and-D player, is currently a questionable superstar right now. I'm going to go with Paul George.
Oh,
nice.
Solid.
I mean, he's expensive, isn't he?
He's not a 50%, maybe.
Oh, 50%, yeah.
Half off.
Cheap suits.
How cheap?
Cheap as hell.
17 mil, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so he's saving that money. So that's a great pick there. All right. The next one, Yoon. Who's going to be your discounted player that you're going to have added onto your team?
This is tough because I'm going to need a little bit of scoring here, especially with Kawhi and Duncan. And I see a few interesting options here.
Take Westbrook.
Don't listen to Joe.
Maybe.
He'll give you a triple-double every game.
Maybe a quadruple-double if we count the turnovers.
Yeah. There was a story out. I don't know, it's been a while, but they're saying that every time Westbrook joins a team, they actually do a little bit worse. And I don't know if it's because he ball hogs too much or if he stat chases too much. Because on paper he does really well, right? On like a fantasy perspective.
He's inefficient.
I mean,
he's trying to stonewall you, man. He's trying to chase you off Westbrook because he wants you.
No, he's just buying me time because I don't know who I'm gonna pick because I was gonna take DeMarcus.
No, Joe Johnson, Yoon. That's your next pick.
No,
the $25 million albatross.
I'm a few years too late on Joe Johnson here. If this was a 2012 draft, then
Joe Johnson was getting paid almost $25 million that year.
25 mil, ISO Joe.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
But look, am I not wrong though? I mean, he's an Iron Man, right? Russell Westbrook. I could appreciate that.
In 2016, yes.
Yeah, I'm saying he played all the games. He hustled for all intents and purposes. When people watching the game, they really appreciated the fact that he's working his ass off. But when it comes to actual team chemistry or playing together, it just didn't. I guess it just didn't work. And I do feel bad, because at the end of the day, when he's playing with KD, he should be giving it up to KD, jacking up these dumbass shots sometimes. But
sometimes
it's just you just see KD just standing there waiting for the ball and he just watches it go up. But
Westbrook is like, so I always thought, I know LeBron is great, but I always also thought he's a stat chaser, right? Then you meet Westbrook, and this guy just takes it to a different level.
Well, yeah, but I think LeBron does it. If Westbrook was really smart about it, I think that's what LeBron. Would you get LeBron? Like
I think LeBron actually thinks about it too.
Yeah, so. I think Westbrook just he goes hard, like 110% all the time, and smashes everything all the time, and that that could be detrimental at times. So.
Third round pick. I think I'm just going to continue the trend here of picking up another two-way player. I'm going to go with Jimmy Buckets.
Damn it!
Especially at a discounted price. I think he's getting paid $15 million or so that year, so I'll take that as a discount.
Damn it, that's a good pick because that was so going to be my pick.
Yeah, solid.
I mean, to get it as a discount, that would have been great. All right, Eddie. So you have the next pick here. Who are you picking?
All right. So a lot of the good 3-and-D guys have been chosen, but surprisingly, the MVP, the solid guy, has not been picked and not been mentioned. I know it's Joe's guy, Gordon Hayward. Gordon Hayward with the Utah Jazz of that year was pretty solid. Second to last year at Utah, averaging almost 20 points. Just solid all around. He's carrying that Utah team, and just this love is his offense. He can facilitate and also do all the dirty things, to will his team to win.
Ooh, tell me more about these dirty things he was doing.
Oh, super dirty. It's Utah, man. What do you expect?
That's true.
Nothing dirty is happening there.
Dude, his wife is so hot.
That's a plus too.
Dude, no. Dude, I don't know, man. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of smoke shows, for all these players, but man, his wife is pretty hot.
I have the next pick. I was going to pick Jimmy Butler. Would have been a good discount. So now I got to rearrange my team. So I might as well get a big man. And I think this man was in his prime during his run with the Grizzlies right now. So I'm going to take Marc Gasol.
Good pick.
He started extending his range. He's excellent passer. And so I think he'll do well on this team.
Johnny, can you tell him to find his range while playing with the Lakers? Because he's been absolute shit.
He's been awful.
The man's getting this man's old. I told you guys earlier this year, like he wasn't a positive, but he wasn't a negative. But yes, this guy's getting old. It was a sentimental pick, right? Lakers drafted him as a rookie, got rid of him for his brother. Might as well come full circle and come back now. And if he gets a ring out of it, that'll be great. We're actually going to start round 4 now. So round 4, Andy gets to use his power-up provision. Andy, what do you want to do?
All right, so I got a question. There's one that's swap a player if they're choosing with any other team. How does that work? Do I swap the same round, a player from the same round to no?
So the players that you're drafted right now constituted. So there's 3. Everyone's drafted 3 players. You can take whatever person you want to trade with right now. Basically, it's like just stealing, right? You're just what's that game where you just like white out? Yeah. So basically, you can just pick whatever player you want on any team.
That's dirty.
And then
The
just
Monopoly
switch it
deal,
right now.
we'll
And
swap it, right?
yeah, there we go. That's what it is. Monopoly deal. That was the game I was thinking of. So you can, if you want to pick that, you can use that.
Okay, well, that's fine, but that means you also have to give up one of your good players in your team as well. So guess what? I'm good taking either AD, Harden, or
Damn, you know, John, you know what it is, man.
Whatever you want, I'm here.
Oh man, well, that's what I'm gonna go with. John knows exactly who I want, so I'm gonna go with the swap player. All right, John, you want to guess?
Is it my team?
It is. It is. So I actually want to swap out Harden for Steph Curry.
Okay.
Oh shit.
That's my
Okay.
That's a fair trade.
That's a
Fair
good
trade.
That's not a
fair
fair trade.
trade.
That's not as bad as I thought.
So we have a big trade. Andy just stole Curry right out of from John's team, and then now he's stuck with Harden and an extra couple $1 million on his cap. So we're gonna start with round 4. Joe, you picked at the beginning of round 3. Now you get to pick at the beginning of round 4.
Yeah. So I was thinking about it because the thing is, if I got a player for free on round 3, basically my salary cap is 70 million plus whatever the cost of Draymond was, which is about 15 million. So I have a pretty good value pick, but then I have a lot of money. But I think that I was looking for a good center, and this is gonna be kind of iffy, but I'm gonna take Whiteside. He's less than $1 million. He's less than $1 million, and he was playing pretty well. So for the sake of seeing how the rest of my picks go, I'm gonna pick Whiteside.
Joe, what team was he playing for in 2016?
For the Heat. So he's getting paid $981,348.
That must have been his contract year or something.
Oh yeah,
Well,
big time.
I think that year Chris Bosh was with his like heart condition, so I don't think he played like the full year. But that also gave Whiteside a lot of opportunity, and so he made the most of it. So that was his first year he started ascending.
Good for him, right? Good for him. It's kind of like Enes Kanter this year.
Oh, I love Enes Kanter, man. That fantasy.
Oh my god.
My other league traded for him. Hey guys,
just
money.
crushing it. Well, crushing top 30 value, baby. I'm last in the league though. It's unfortunate.
Sounds about right.
Damn it.
I have the next pick here, and I think I need a shooter. I need someone to just shoot threes lights out, and this guy was still doing it. And this contract's reasonable, and I need a Duke player on my team anyway. So give me JJ Redick.
JJ
Already? 4th round?
Wow, too early, man.
Not too early.
It's a bad pick.
Nah, man.
JJ on the Sixers at that time?
Clippers.
Ah.
He was actually playing well with Clippers. You're right.
Yes. That man.
I don't think anyone's going to pick him.
I don't think it was too, but I also, this is the time where I got to scale back my money, and then
Excuse
later
me, what? Scale back? That's $70 million, man.
Hey, man, the guy led the league in 3-point shooting at 47%. All right, like it's fine. I can do it.
You have very different definitions of scaling back.
Touche. All right, so next one will be Andy. Andy, who's your pick?
While Andy thinks, I have a question. Do you guys take into account how these players will play? Because you guys heard the term "too many cooks in the kitchen."
Yeah.
That's
Too
essentially.
many cooks?
Okay. Anyway.
I literally watched that video like 3 days ago.
Don't
ask me why.
It's like a 10-minute video. It's hilarious. Anyways, so the thing is, like, because you're basically taking like 6 superstars, right? More or less. There's only one ball. right? So I'm trying to figure out, are you guys taking into account how well they will play with each other?
No.
So
I'm drafting what's gonna ball out in 2K
Pretty much.
Yeah.
there's
because this is the
one ball.
because this is the NBA 2K sim.
Here's a question: are injuries turned on, and where are the sliders at?
Oh crap.
I
I would
would
No
assume
injuries.
injuries are turned off. And
Injuries are turned off.
I would also like
sliders
max.
are
I would also like
default.
max sliders.
No.
No.
Pro mode, rookie mode,
Max,
rookie mode.
Max turbo.
Can we also turn off turbo, like max turbo all the time?
So like no
No.
stamina.
But this will be interesting when I sim these things because I'm going to capture it and then from the PS5 and then try to use the editing tools to edit as well. So I think this will actually be pretty cool to kind of do and look at. So
Leave it to Joe to always try to throw a wrinkle in things.
Dude, I'm just saying, man.
I'm just asking questions.
You have fucking Hardest, Giannis, and Paul George.
yeah, but Giannis wasn't even that. I mean, he was decent that year, but he's not like Giannis.
You also have to bear in mind that I had Steph Curry and he was taken from me.
You had Steph Curry is the key word, but Joe's just trying to find some advantages because he doesn't like his team.
Exactly.
Here's the thing though, right? What I'm wondering is, first of all, with 2K, I hope your listeners don't like 2Ks because 2K, because that's just whack, right? What I'm wondering is if you sim this shit in 2K, like, are they gonna do some sort of team chemistry thing? Because I know that in other sports games they kind of have some sort of weird calculations for team chemistry.
I could turn team chemistry off, but
First of all, why would you even do that?
I'm going to leave it on. So
Yeah.
leave it all on.
I found my value pick. Flew under the radar, so definitely needed a real shooting guard, not named Reddick, making far less too at 2.5 mil. CJ McCollum,
Damn.
breakout year, averaging 20 points, just shooting lights out that year. So pairing out him with Steph Curry, amazing backcourt right there.
Yeah, Dame doesn't want to play with him anymore, so that's why I didn't pick him. he needed a change of scenery. That's a solid pick, though.
Very solid.
I gotta know though before you even picks, Andy, are you picking that pick based off of today or based off of where he was that year?
Where he was that year, he was 2015-16. He started averaging 20 points a game or 23 points a game. So
let me ask Johnny this then. So Johnny, are these ratings beginning of year ratings or end of year ratings?
End of year. Before that happens. So,
if and when we do this again, a boost would be like we can pick any legend player. Actually, can you even sim that shit on 2K?
Yes, because
good.
Most legend players, right? There's certain players that don't want to give out their likeness.
Yeah.
Right.
A la
right.
Charles Barkley.
Hey man, he's just saying all the other people should be paid too. He has a good reason.
He's not wrong. You are correct.
Secondly, as a power up, right? You're limited. Can you also do like any year as well? Like, can you pick like Luka, for example, if you're gonna do this? Would that work in
No, because if I sim in a 2K, I need it to be that year. I need that roster lineup.
See, that's the limitation. I mean, 2K right here.
But Luka is also in this game technically because they had the whole world teams, the European teams in there. He's rated like 50 something. So I don't know if you want this Luka there. So
man, I'm just saying, like, 2K could do so much better, but there's no one trying to kick their ass, right? So they took away the 3-point contest, which is my favorite part of the whole game, right? So I mean, what's the point of even getting the game anymore? I hope this podcast blows the up and they listen to me, right? And they say, "Oh shit, we should change our game to be a little bit better instead of making the cheerleaders look a little bit better." Who gives a about the cheerleaders, man? Make the game better.
Jeff does, say this, but that's neither here or there. So
jerseys are more real though.
I say this every year.
Hey man,
right?
You gotta blame Ronnie 2K, man. Just add him on Twitter or something, man.
Man, I know that he's the face of it and he gets a lot of shit for it and he has a punchable face. But the thing is, the developers, right? There's really no need to change the controls up every year all the time. Just change the numbers on the players, change the face a little bit, improve the gameplay. I'm not asking for much. You're paying $60 a year every year.
70.
Oh shit. Well, there's that going, right? $70 a year every year for this shit. Right, and all you're getting is a new coat of paint, and they change up the controls for some goddamn reason. Yeah. I don't get it.
Joe. I want to see my enhanced sweat drops and light reflections on the court. Okay.
I want to see more ads, Joe. I want to see more commercials.
Love it.
All right, Yoon. So who are you gonna pick?
I'm gonna need a ball handler, and he's kind of another two-way player. So I'm gonna go with Mike Conley at about $9.5 million. And I have a little money to spend right now, so he's a solid pickup for me.
Grizzlies, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
sir.
That's a solid pick there.
That's not a bad pick. Let me
Grit and grind.
I like for his rating that year, and yeah, I definitely think that's a good pickup.
All right, John. So you're next here.
I'm actually pretty shocked that no one's actually taking a look at this guy, especially for his contract. He may have not had the best year that year, but he definitely was an up and coming player, and it had a solid enough or decent enough rating this year in 2K. I'm going to go with Oladipo.
Ooh,
Nice.
Big
value pick.
$5 million contract.
Nice and simple, nice and round.
All right, Chris. So you get to end round 4. Who you got and why?
I'm going to go with a value pick. He didn't perform as well as he could have this season, but now he is a $200 million man. That'd be Rudy Gobert at $175 million. So I needed a center.
Oh, you did. You had Boogie.
No, I got Boogie is going to be he's going to be a shooter and some boards, and I'll have Gobert blocking the rim.
Oh man,
I see this man. This man is thinking of team chemistry right now.
You can't sim team chemistry. I'm gonna be
Yo, this is some bullshit.
All right, so before we start round 5, if John, you can give us just the cap space left that each team has.
Johnny, I'm going from left to right again. So Johnny, you have LeBron James, Damian Lillard, Marc Gasol, JJ Redick rounded out round 4 for yourself. You're sitting at $43,924,287. I have James Harden because I got Stephen Curry stolen from me. James Harden, Giannis, Paul George, and Depot. I'm sitting at $31,462,971. Chris with the Warriors, Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, DeMarcus Cousins, Rudy Gobert, sitting at $34,393,598. Andy with the surprising value team right now. He's actually the lowest. AD, Steph Curry, Gordon Hayward, and CJ McCollum. That third round really came in handy for you, Andy, with the that 50% off. $28,671,461. Joe with the Spurs, Klay Thompson, Kyrie Irving, for some reason, Draymond Green at $0, and Whiteside, $31,227,348.
Man, you don't pick the most expensive shit just because it's free, man. Do you have caviar every day?
You're taking Mellow. You're taking Mellow for free.
God, you got.
Oh my God.
Man, don't give me that shit.
Oh man.
Well, then you take Mellow at 50%, dog.
I would have taken for free, but not 50%.
Yeah, I'm taking the free.
All right, and then finally we got you. Yoon has the Hawks, Kawhi, Tim Duncan, Jimmy Butler, and Mike Conley. I love Mike Conley at that pick. $38,718,426.
Cool. All right. So before we start round 5, Chris, you actually get to pick one of the provisions here that you get to use. What would you like to do?
With your next player has to be rated 85 or above.
85 or above.
85 plus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
85 and above.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh man, people are about to use their cap space right now. So
Yeah,
wait, who's up? He's up. Chris up first.
Chris has the first pick of the 5th round, and the condition in this round, you guys, is that the player has to be 85 and above.
Yeah.
So, Chris, who do you got and why?
I'm going with Pau Gasol with the Chicago Bulls. He's rated 86 this season at a salary of $7.4 million. Being a Laker fan my whole life, Pau, absolute baller. He actually won a championship for us in 2010. And this first season with Chicago, he actually did really well with the team and added a lot of value. So I think at this rating, Pau's a good value pick.
Solid. this is where it gets fun because Chris knew what he was doing. Everyone's draft is about to get messed up at the very from what I'm looking at right now. So, John, 85 and above in 2K rating. Who you got?
All right, hang on. Bear with me for 1 second. Let me take a look.
Go ahead and take Russell Westbrook, John, and just call it a good.
Oh man, I could have. Damn. Let me see. All right, you guys have some witty banter while I'm looking for a player.
I'm gonna use the restroom. I'll be back.
Man, this is a tough one. Whew.
There's a tough one because I've looked at the players and there is specifically only 7.
Yeah.
I think 7 or 6 left. So everyone's gonna get picked this round, regardless.
Jesus Christ.
Very solid messing up everyone's draft, Chris. I appreciate that.
Not a problem. Wanted to make
you're about to mess up my cap space, and I am going to pick. I'm kind of glad I took Reddick now, to be honest with you, to save some money.
You know what? Shit. Am I going to take Russ? No, I'm not. I'm not going to take Russ. I'm going to spend a little bit of money this year. This guy actually had a pretty decent season. I'm going with Blake Griffin.
Okay.
All right. Blake Griffin. That's a solid pick.
At a healthy 18.9 million.
Did anyone pick yet?
Yeah, John picked Blake Griffin. So, Yoon, you are next. Who you got?
Easy. 85 and above.
Easy.
Easy, huh?
Easy. Gotta go with my.
Easily
expensive. Gotta go with my boy LaMarcus Aldridge. I mean, I got no other choice.
Man, that guy, dude.
Oh man.
Oh man.
I'm so sad right now.
I blew it,
LaMarcus?
guys. I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry.
I drafted
Joe's
LaMarcus.
sad because he has LaMarcus Aldridge.
Now, to be honest, right? He's been a pretty consistent dude. But I guess I'm gonna just say that the age sort of got to him. That's all.
It did.
Either way, I don't know, man.
You took LaMarcus?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you have 3 Spurs players in your team. Just putting that out there.
Hey, would you like me to trade you Pop?
Cool. All right, Andy. So you get the next pick. 85 and above. Who you going with?
85 and above. Westbrook. Hey, Westbrook is like a monster that year. Oh man.
Like I said, the Thunder were just a couple plays away from beating this Warriors team.
And it wasn't necessarily his fault they lost. Because KD came out very small in that series.
Jeez. That was a solid year. That's one of my favorite teams too. Just taking the Golden State Warriors to 7, I think, right?
As Andy's thinking, so I have a question here. We see what Yoon's doing, drafting all these Spurs players. He's gonna have 5 picks left. What's the over/under of Yoon taking 2 more Spurs players? Would you take the over or would you take the under?
I'm gonna go ahead and say
I'm gonna personally take the under because
I would like an option call at under for 1.5.
Okay, if I lowered the line to 1.5, you take the over or the under?
Ooh! I will take the fact that I have. This is the 2015-2016 NBA season was probably the season that I watched the NBA the least. I watched maybe the finals, and I actually remember when the Cavs were beating the Warriors. For whatever the reason, I was driving home. Like, I don't know what's going on. All I remember was watching that shit on my phone. And there has to be a reason. I think I was driving away from Yoon's house or something. But I just remember Kyrie hitting that shot. I was like, that's kind of cool, I guess. But, I don't know. It wasn't just because I'm a Lakers fan, I guess. As soon as Kobe, last game for Kobe was done, I kind of lost interest for a minute. Started watching more football. Sort of went into hockey a little bit. But soccer.
That was a really good year for sports, though.
Yeah.
Yes, it was a really good year.
For sports in general, yeah. But just in terms, because historically, I was really into the NBA, and I watch a ton of games, and I never, this is one of the few years which is like, oh man, I'm just bored because I guess the Warriors ruined everything. But psych, LeBron showed up.
I mean, really interesting recap though of that year. So that year, Patriots won, right? After again the preceding year going into 2016, they won after being down 28-3, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Cavs won. The Cubs came back after being down 3-1 versus a Cleveland team as well versus Indians, right? And then who won hockey that year?
I don't care about hockey that much.
Joe, I thought you said you love hockey, man.
Yeah. So again, I dabbled in hockey, and I realized, man, this. Now, not to disrespect people that are into hockey, I just don't find it interesting. I can say the same thing about. I watch a lot of soccer. A lot of people are like, this is the dumbest shit in the life. I'm like, all right, well, bet, that's fine. You do you, man.
Yeah, so my two choices was a toss up between either my boy Westbrook or John Wall, but
it's only one option there.
Yeah. Contracts are nice. They're relatively similar, but I got to go with John Wall, I think, on this one.
Oh my god!
Just the way. I was close, but looking at the numbers, John Wall was averaging 20 points, 5 boards, 10 assists. That's pretty much almost one of his best years, shooting almost 35% on threes. Westbrook was under 30% on threes too. So just having a non-shooter like Westbrook is it's pretty tough.
So I have the next pick. Not F it. If Andy's not going to take Westbrook, I am. That kind of sealed the deal. I'm going to take Westbrook. He'll be on my team because
Westbrook will ruin your team.
He will, but
ruin your team.
But I also need that extra $4 million in cap space for later on. So I'm going to take Westbrook because I ain't spending over 20 right now for Melo or Kobe.
You realize you have Lillard, though, right?
Yes. Off the bench.
Lillard ain't coming off the bench. Get out of here.
You have Lillard and Westbrook on the same team.
Correct. Make it work.
Wait, so who would you have taken, Westbrook or John Wall? Between the two.
I would probably take John Wall.
Westbrook.
John Wall's a good pick.
I'm going to take Westbrook. So.
I agree.
Tough one.
All right, Joe, you get to end this round. Got to spend all this cap money.
Let me just quickly check the price here. Yep, I'm just gonna do it. This is a bad pick. I'm gonna take Chris Paul. 21 million.
Wow.
Hey, all I gotta say is
you in the second round, my friend.
all I'm saying is this: he's a point guard, man. And if you can't have Kyrie play all the time, or whatever, you can have a really good ball handler at all points of the game. That's all.
All right, so let me do a recap of the picks in this round, as well as where everyone is sitting salary-wise. So do bear in mind for the fans listening that in this round here, the provision was that the player had to be rated over an 85 to be taken, which pretty much screwed all of us, except for Chris because he had the first pick in that round. So again, going from left to right, Johnny, the pick in that round was Russell Westbrook is being paired with JJ Redick, Marc Gasol, Damian Lillard, and LeBron James. Johnny is sitting at a cool $60,668,505. $505.
God, $9 million in the next round. So, okay, here we go.
I have Blake Griffin in that round being paired with Victor Oladipo, Paul George, Giannis, and James Harden. I'm sitting at $50,307,070,696. Chris, with that extreme value pick with Paul Gasol that round, is sitting at $41,842,000. Chris has Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, DeMarcus Cousins, Gobert, and Paul Gasol. And I'm actually not mad at that. You know why? Because Chris has 3 big men and 2 little men. So you know what? That's fine for me. In that round chose John Wall, being paired alongside of Anthony Davis, Stephen Curry, Gordon Hayward, and CJ McCollum, coming in at $44,522,000. How are you below me? That doesn't make any sense. Joe went ahead and took the poison pill, took CP3. Joe is pairing CP3 alongside Hassan Whiteside, Draymond Green at $0. Draymond Green at $0. Kyrie at $14 million, and Klay Thompson. Joe is sitting at $52,696,000. And then Yoon picked LaMarcus. LaMarcus is being paired with Mike Conley. Jimmy Butler, Tim Duncan, and Kawhi, sitting at $58,218,426. And I just want to say that right now, the only two people who have anything resembling a real basketball team are probably Andy Mai and Yoon.
The Andes.
Andy, let's go.
Hey, our teams are good.
It's a good team.
It's a team. It's a team.
Oh.